Welcome to the locker. Season 3, episode 13. For some reason, I think it's 14. But we are starting off with episode 13, draft day, money day, payday, however you want to have it. I'm going to let you know this off the top, man. I think StreamYard and Facebook are in negotiations, or they're not getting along.
Oh.
I was not allowed to connect Facebook to our stream today. So
we on Twitter and
we are on Twitter and YouTube. And I think Twitter, you don't get to comment.
Right.
And YouTube. So it's going to be an extremely different show. If you got a friend on Facebook, or you got versatility where you can either do Facebook or Twitter or YouTube and Facebook, or then you need to let them know that Facebook would not allow us to connect to their services. Anyway, so how's it going? Other than that,
man, it's going pretty well. Can't complain. If I would complain, it's not going to get me anywhere. So, I'm happy, highly favored, blessed, all those good words that we talk about. My damn hoodie's not sitting right. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, whatever your face look like. I'm gonna start off on this, man. Yo boy, my boy.
Okay.
John Calipari said earlier this week that, people talking about name, image, and likeness, that how that's changed the landscape of college and players get to name their price. Cal said, and this is one thing I really like that Cal said. He said he's always been about the players getting paid. Obviously, that's why I think he's pop off the way they do. And I don't know how the fan base feels about that, because as long as they go on their 9 to 5, they don't want no young college player who played 1 year of college basketball at their university going making millions of dollars if they didn't go through the grind that they went through to make their
right
75, 80, 90, $100,000 a year. Cal said, I'm for these guys making whatever their potential is. Just like your professor, when you come in that classroom, should tell you, if you can get an A in agriculture and you want to be a farmer, or you want to be in an agricultural business, I'm going to help you get there. It may take you 4 years because it's going to require a certification. But if your people got that cheddar, and you get the basic knowledge of how to run an agricultural business. So Cal said that he's not really against the whole idea of NIL, and he's not going to be held hostage by NIL. It's not going to be that you're going to tell me what your price is when you come. No, he always been on that. I'm going to try to help you get as much money as you can. But that ain't going to be the reason you come here. How did that hit you? How did that hit you?
Man, it's a fact. It's hard, man, because now these kids have a lot of power, and they can. I'm trying to think of the best word to use. It's not hold you hostage, but they have some leverage, right? They can say, "Hey, I got 6 schools looking at me. I like all 6." So, like, as athletes, how do you differentiate yourself? Are you in your books? Are you versatile? You can play multiple positions.
Right.
You have a high GPA, so I don't have to worry about you not qualifying. Well, me as a player, how much money can you give me? So, as a coach, are you gonna? Because here's the deal, right? for me, the players who are going at it for just the money are not going at it for the right reasons. Just the money. Not I got a Stanford and a Harvard kind of on equal playing field, right? Different parts of the country. Maybe I like it cold, maybe I like it warmer. Like so that, but when your sole criteria is the bag, then you go to the professional ranks. But if number 3 or 4 on your list is the bag, then it's the bag. So as a coach, I don't want you if you want just the bag.
And I get you. And Mike said that a while ago, Mike said the problem with professional basketball now is they giving these players off money off the cuff. We talk about your boy, Ben Simmons, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
No, he ain't from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I ain't say he from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's how he made it to the next level from Baton Rouge. So all I'm telling you is that Mike said it a long time ago, when you start giving these guys money up front, what's your incentive to play hard? What's your incentive to, so now you say, I want to come to your school, I want this money up front. I mean, we didn't have Brandon Boston's here. We didn't have, I got to see what happens with Ty and some of these guys. We got to see what happens with those guys. But, reading message I was sent. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know. I just thought that was pretty slick. But like I said, Mike Jordan said that a few years ago, y'all paying these players too early, and they ain't got no incentive to play. So the product they putting out is semi-garbage. He didn't say semi-garbage. I said semi-garbage. And I don't think he meant semi-garbage, but I think, man, Mike done been hit. You done seen where Zeke was bleeding down the eye. You done seen Shaq scrapping. You done seen Charles scrapping. You done seen Dr. J scrapping. You done seen somebody swing. You done seen somebody swing on Mike. Like the game was serious. Like it wasn't about me getting my money. Where these guys don't want to scrap. They want to push and shove or all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy that UK isn't taking advantage of the new NCAA rule allowing schools to pay student athletes for good grades also. Wait a minute, Cobby Cobb. Man, Cobby Cobb, you are people. You are our people. How do you know that's a fact? I can't see that not being a fact. And if there's any university that's going to take advantage of that, I think it's us. We graduated a hell of. I would like to see where we rank at all sports across the board graduation of us. I mean, basketball, it might hurt you, but how many is that? 2 or 3 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I don't know how many of them don't come back. Tyler Houston came back. Right. Wayne Turner, a lot of them people came back. So I don't know about that whole
that's interesting.
We ain't taking advantage of the money for grades. I wish they'd well, no, I don't wish they would have had that. You do. I know you wish they would have had that. It wasn't gonna make me no difference. Damn no grade. Unless they were talking about thousands and thousands.
Well, dude, just think about it. For us, just think about it for a second. If you got $1,000 a semester, how much you could have used that? Just 1,000. These kids getting 6 figures. Just imagine if you got $1,000. I remember teammates getting a couple of grand for Pell Grant and were living. Yeah, Lord, yeah. Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine 50 grand? Dude, you wouldn't have been able to tell me 50 grand. Well, I'm glad it didn't happen.
Before we go to draft, so let's be honest then. If you talk about 50 grand, 100 grand, I mean, how likely is it for a cat to go to practice? How likely is it for a cat to really worry about playing injured? Like, is there some reality to you getting that name, image, and likeness Because his name, image, and likeness where it ends. Because after name, image, and likeness, you still have to get yourself to the next level if you want to make them 7 figures.
That's why you wouldn't have a fall off. And I'm sure that NIL, I don't know how it's written, but I'm sure there's some language in there that there may be some escalators, or there might be some termination writing if you don't do what you're supposed to. So
Right.
I don't see it. I don't see it being a negative for us guys just say, I quit, because it's not that much money. So
I saw an interview with the UK athlete. They're like, "What? I don't know anything about that."
Oh wow.
Hey, Cobby Cobb, I'll tell you this. If there was an opportunity, Van may take advantage of it. And if there was an opportunity to me, and I was getting name, image, and likeness at 6 figures, I may not take advantage of it.
Oh.
And I may not even be told about it if they said. And you know what? It might have been something that they sprung on that they just automatically throw in where the cats ain't got nothing to do with it. But go ahead, Van.
No, I don't know. That's a good one. I will say this. What if, it wouldn't happen like that. I was going to say, what if there's just as much money for them damn grades than it is for just using your image and likeness and your name?
To me, that's worse off than paying for your talent. You paying somebody to get good grades is worse off than paying for your talent. Because if I pay for my talent, you know what I got to do? I can go out there and sweat, bleed, hurt, pain. You know what I can do if I want good grades, man?
Cheat.
It don't make no difference. Like, I mean, that wasn't even my initial angle. But your reward now, they will have you got an argument for your reward for going to college and you getting grades. But is that 5,000 or 6,000 that players didn't know about anything about? I'm kind of lost, Mr. Hatfield. I'm a little lost. ESPN says only 22 of 132 schools take advantage of it currently as of April 5th. And as of April 5th, maybe we didn't know about it. That's fine. Well, Cobby Cobb, we concerned about winning games, football and basketball wise. They want our basketball coach gone, and our football coach is doing a hell of a job. That may not be top priority on a list, but
that's less than a quarter of the schools taking advantage of it. So it's not just us. And I bet you the teams that are taking advantage of it.
Check Alabama, see if Alabama taking advantage.
I bet you a lot of them are Ivy League schools. So you got, was there like 8 Ivy League schools, 8 or 9? Then you got Northwestern. Then you got Vanderbilt. Then you got Stanford.
Is Notre Dame considering that still considering that category?
I don't know. They're higher learning. Then you got Duke. You starting to get to your 22 very easy right now. So I can see it. Then what's another higher learning school that I can think of?
Vanderbilt.
I said Vanderbilt.
Oh,
yeah. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah, so I mean, it came up on Sunday morning. Somebody asked about that. Dude, I guess it is a hell of a neat idea. And I don't understand why some people say we're not taking advantage of it. If we not, here's the thing. The question is, if we not taking advantage of it, can Van Howes
come back?
I'm sure Van Howes will say, hey, you ain't got to where my application at. Everybody, y'all ain't got to represent it to us.
Dude,
where's my application at?
That would have been to get you money for your likeness and to get money for grades, dude. I would have stayed an extra year or 2. Damn.
Oh, man.
You double dipping. You're going to pay me for being a good football player and a good student? Shit.
I'm not gonna say I'll be so compelled to be a great student if I gotta see the numbers first.
Right.
But I'm gonna use ingenuity though. I'm gonna find a way to make sure my grades show up as
I'm gonna say this though. If
recipient of such funds.
I would say this, if grades were a factor, if we had a player that were on that level, I promise you, Sandy Bell would have
Oh yeah.
had them get that bag, guarantee it.
The right people would have known about it.
Right.
Arkansas, Auburn, Clemson, UNC, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Texas Tech, Washington, Wisconsin, Miami.
So
Missouri,
most of them players,
Iowa State.
NCAA was good.
Huh?
NCAA, that's why you don't know about it, because all them schools right there, ain't nobody getting that. You got like a handful of
Auburn,
kids.
Arkansas, Oklahoma,
UNC maybe.
Southern.
UNC,
I mean, every time I see South Carolina, no. Tennessee, probably no. I don't know too much about Washington, Wisconsin, Miami, no. LSU, no.
Wisconsin has a pretty good.
Oh, I was assuming Wisconsin does. Ain't nothing else to do there. When you get a school out there, ain't nothing to do there.
What's that?
I said when you get a school out there,
right,
in a city where ain't nothing to do, where's the book?
Right.
Up to almost $6,000 bonus per semester. Damn.
That's not
and
bad.
How many A's you got to get? Is that for 1A or 2A? Or what is that for? Being over 2.5 or 3 points? Now, if that's for 4.0, I'm not trying that hard just because I ain't got time for it.
And what if it was, if you had electives that like art history and
that was part of
does
my,
that count
my upper level classes or my graduating classes.
Yeah,
mostly electives.
Yeah, it has to be towards your degree or something.
All right. So without any further ado, last week was NFL draft. The day after our show, NFL draft. What do we have? 4 drafted?
4. Yep.
3 in the top 4 rounds?
Yeah. 3 in the top 3 rounds.
Top 3. Yeah. Top 3. What was your biggest surprise on the draft? What was the biggest surprise Fortner should have made bank with that? Yeah, that is true. That dude got 2 masters.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's bullshit. If I was Fortner, I'd have came back another year. Well, considering where he got drafted, maybe not.
I would say not.
Right.
Not where he got drafted. I would say not, because he got drafted at a good damn spot.
Right.
Surprise.
No, Wan'Dale went in the second. Didn't 2 go in the second?
Yeah. Wan'Dale passed.
Bobby Cobb said 3 won the third. No, 2 went in the second.
2 won the second. 1 in the third. 1 in the third. Yeah, when the last time we had 2 players drafted in the second round? Has that ever happened in recent history?
Well, just to be politically correct, Tim Couch went in the first round.
Yep.
Craig Yeast went the first pick of the third round. That's damn close.
Damn close.
But go ahead.
My surprise was Fortner going in front of Kennard. Now, and that's only because of the history. Darren Kennard has been PFF's poster child for the last 2 to 3 years. Highest ranking tackle, all this stuff. Now, obviously, this is how hard it is for me. I'm not shocked that he dropped, but I'm shocked that it happened. You know what I'm saying? the funny part about it is multiple teams passed up on him more than once. And when Liam passed up on him, I'm like, there's more to this. There's more to this than we know. But like I've said on many shows and many times, versatility is so huge in the NFL because you can only carry 53 players. And Fortner's ability to play center and guard is why he was more valuable than a guy who could only play tackle.
Right.
But I was a little scared because it can go either way. When they went on that run of wide receivers in the first round, I'm like, okay, did all the teams get their wide receivers and one day it's going to fall? Or there's some teams that are going to get scared because there's a run on wide receivers.
Right,
they're going to have to get somebody before somebody move up and get them in front of them.
Yeah.
So I think that run of 6 or 7 wide receivers in the first round proved out to be advantageous for him. And he went higher than I thought. No, Kyle.
He wasn't a left tackle, man. Was he a left tackle, man?
No, he's a right tackle.
Dude, I didn't realize, and I will tell you this. Do you think? Let's get it out here. This is the locker. Is this the locker, y'all?
Yep.
All right.
Yes, it is.
Do you think he regressed or not? And I seen the look on your face when Cobb said not playing him in left tackle. If we played him at left tackle, with the film I seen, like I didn't realize it. Like once they got the little zero in on you when you're doing like 24/7 sports and all those recruiting sites, he looked quite guardish. He looked extremely guardish, not tacklish.
I'm gonna say this. If he play up, I'm trying to say this because I don't want to step on toes. But Anthony, if Coach Mommy told you, I don't want to say that, that's a bad one. If a coach told you, you come back and we're going to put your left tackle, I guarantee you get that shot, right? You're going to get the shot to prove that you can play left tackle, right? When did we sign Dare Rosenthal?
Late.
It was in May.
Late.
So here's what I want people to understand. We all rave about your boy Darian Kennard. I would say there's a 100% chance that he got a chance at left tackle. I'm going to say there's a 90% chance in camp it didn't look good. I'm going to say I feel pretty. I wouldn't have said that last year. But to me, when you start pulling back the layers and pulling back stuff, you start wondering, okay, if he was at left tackle and he came back to play left tackle, I'm sure the coaches had an agreement that you're going to play left tackle. But when you play left tackle and you don't perform like we want our left tackle to perform, we're going to go find somebody else. And if we find somebody else, we're going to move your ass back to right tackle. Now, here's the deal. If they couldn't have found somebody, maybe they don't do that. But I think this. If Kennard, and here's the other thing people need to understand. These damn scouts, these NFL people, they talk to everybody.
Everybody.
Total
El Mundos.
Dude, there is not one stone that they don't turn. So here's the deal. And this is why I said it all started to come together when Liam passed on him. So if Liam passed on him, don't you think some other scouts went to Liam? Tell me about that big tackle that you have. I don't know what he said because I'm not at practice. I'm not in the meeting room. I don't know what he said. But I'm going to say this. It couldn't have been glowing because 32 teams don't pass up on an All-American tackle very often. So when all them teams passed on them, something makes me pause. Yep.
Let me ask you this. Because this is going to go into Dare, and it's going to go into your boy Kennard. Now, when you got a coach, Wolford, coaching these dudes, and you are in battle with your coach every day trying to prove yourself, when you done came from a coach that we done played with, I done played more with on my side of the ball, that loves you, nurtures you. There's a difference between get your ass out there, you get hit, now get back out there and fight. No, it's different. You say, no, here, take this, get back out there and fight. Now you give him something to go out there and fight. Oh, yeah, he done gave me some sand, throw it in his eyes. He done gave me a knife. He done gave me a shank. You can go back out there and fight. But when you got a guy like Wolford who goes on a recruiting visit and decides he's going to go coach for another team, that's fine. So what I've heard was through the whole process, and I went through this. You know, I had a coordinator that, man, and I don't think it was personal to me. I wasn't the only person getting abused. But I did have a lot in my tank, and I had a lot of ability. If you didn't see it, if you wanted me to be a square peg, and I was a round peg, the crazy thing was you recruited me at Colorado before you recruited me at Kentucky. Well, I was already recruited at Kentucky, but you were heavily recruiting me at Colorado. So my point is, Dare, Kennard, it comes to a point where you got to prove yourself to the coach. Now you become an independent man. You do things on your own. You do things the way you want to do them because this is what the person before you were taught. So you were taught by the person before you. So now you go through the whole year in the process. And I told you this before, and I think you said you've heard these rumors, not about my class, you just heard rumors, that if you and your coach don't get along, the background on you ain't always the best of me and you don't see eye to eye. We don't know whose eyes ain't seeing whose eyes. But sometimes it don't come out the right way in an interview. I'm talking about coach to coach.
Right.
But that I think that was a little piece of it in some aspect. But shit, boy, you cold-blooded, boy, because I looked at that film, when they were showing the right tackle, man, like, I thought you was more agile. I thought you were more athletic than that. Look a little bit more guardish. But whoever was saying that before, Cobby Cobb and then was saying that they ain't think, and Hatfield was saying that he should have been left. I'm with you. You could have put him in left if you want to. I'm running.
Look, this is why I'm gonna say this. This is why the players love playing for Kentucky. And I don't have proof of this, but the coaches will go to bat and twist the narrative to protect you. So the narrative that leaked is Dare couldn't play left, right, blah, blah, blah. Trust me. I want people to understand this. This is one rung away from the NFL. You know this. It's not ran. The program is not ran like it was ran when we was in school. This is an organization more than an institution. If Kennard goes left tackle and balls out, they wouldn't have got there. They wouldn't have got him. They would have tried to scour for a right tackle. And here's the deal. Now I want to try to wrap this around. If Kennard could play left tackle, Flax would have started at right tackle. No doubt about it. Because Flax can play right tackle. He's proven it now. He got a little and he got a little down on himself probably after the whole dare and stuff. If Kennard could play left tackle, Flax would have played right, and that would have been the end. For me, reading the tea leaves, there's more to it. And here's the thing I gotta say about Dare. The optics are bad. It's not that Dare wasn't a good left tackle. Your optics are bad. It seems like he didn't have that extra level of aggression. Like he played through the whistle. Dare played to the whistle. Dare played actually a step before the whistle. Sometimes he anticipated the whistle. Right. But technically wise, he was fine. Kennard was the guy who would play through the whistle. But technically, he wasn't fine. You can watch, if you go back to my YouTube channel and watch me analyze 2 years ago film, I was like, how is he better than getting rated higher than Steinberg and John Young? And I'm like, how is he? I'm like, I'm watching it. I'm like, how is his grade better than not Landon Young? How is his grade better than Landon Young? I'm like, but I don't know how they grade. So I'm like, it is what it is, right? But it kept being 90%. I'm like, 90%. Okay, whatever. And who was the guard next to him? That was a guard that was next to him that was pretty good. I can't remember now. I'm like, was it Fortner? It could have been Fortner. Yeah, because Steinberg was on the left side. It was Fortner. I'm like, Fortner's playing pretty well too. How is? I'm telling you. There's more to it, and the fact that Liam skipped him, I think that was in the compensatory picks in the third round, had me start going backwards and retracing my steps. Because how can a coach, if he's a great right tackle, how can a coach who was in the room with you, who knows you intimately, who you ran the same system with, so when you get to the Rams, you are 3 steps ahead of everybody else. How does he not pick him up in the third round? And that was the end of the third round. That wasn't like the beginning of the third round, the end of the second. This was the compensatory picks these are the extra picks at the end of the third round, and he passed you up for a guy who potentially, I had him at a second round grade. But when he passed him, I'm like, something ain't right. So then you just start backtracking, like, okay, I think I see it now.
I'm gonna say this. I want to go to this for a second, man. I'm gonna go. Are you beating up on child abuse? I heard beating up on the kids. I'm gonna say this. South Carolina staff was terrible. Offense was terrible. You ever see that dude on Instagram and TikTok? Trash. LeBron James, trash. Hey, we get this coach. Now, mind you, we've been putting everybody who had high grades undergraded, except for Luke. Everybody undergraded. This joker leaving again as if I'm not saying he was the blame, because, like I said, Kennard's film wasn't. And I don't know if Dare thought that coming back to college was going to remain the way it was. No, when I watched Kennard's film, he didn't have a whole lot of hip in him. Like, he didn't have a whole lot of this. It was a whole lot of stiffness. And, you know, if it was the right call or the right move on defense, you bully. But if you get some finesse on you, he wasn't agile enough to, you know, to keep your quarterback clean. So I absolutely understood that. But I think throughout the year, and I'm telling you, Tony Franklin, I don't mean to, it's hard. I think it's hard for you to understand, but I don't think the knock on me was I couldn't pick up blitzes. That was not the case. One, I probably wasn't big enough at 189 pounds. I probably wasn't big enough, but the desire, and that's what my NFL report said, the desire to pick up the blitz. So if you thought I was good enough, would you not draft me off the fact that you have vision and you can catch the ball? We could put 20 pounds on you and make you 210, Marcus Allen size. So I think it was some muddy water in there, son. The film may not have been the best, and the film may not have been the best because of the mesh between the coach and the players.
I will say this. If Darren Kennard would have said, Coach, let me play wherever the hell you want me to play to help me get to the next level. And if Coach Wolford would have said, well, I'm just going to let you know, NFL thinks you're better as a guard. Well, Coach, rotate me in guard a couple series a game. If he has tape, see, Fortner has 2 years of tape as a guard.
Right.
Pretty good tape. He has a whole calendar year of playing center.
Right.
Really good tape. So as a scout, I see what you can do at either position. You are good at playing guard and good at being center. So when I got to select when I got to sign and say, oh, which 8 linemen gonna be dressing today, I'm gonna sit back. I got a guy who can play guard, either guard and center. I got a guy who can only play either guard. And right now, our center has a gimpy knee. Who am I going to sign for active roster? I'm going to sign a guy, even though the guy who can play either guard might be more experienced and might be quote unquote better. I need a guy to back up that center just in case. So I'm going to put Fortner on active roster this week. Those are the kind of things that people don't get right now. Right now, Kennard is only slotted as a right tackle. I've only seen film on you as a right tackle.
Right.
And I'm not sure how great of a right tackle you are. Are you good? Yes, but there's a lot of damn good tackles. It's not you just playing against SEC guys. You're playing against the country. Now, if he would have slid to guard and been good on the snaps he got, then I could be, okay, this guy can play right guard and or right tackle. And he can play either one. Now I got a guy who is versatile. He's a swing lineman because he's not going to start. You need a guy who can swing to either side. Or he can play left. He can play right guard. Maybe he can play left guard too. So now I got a left guard, right guard, and a right tackle. That's when you are valuable. And him not understanding that maybe I don't want to play guard, but if that's going to get me to the next level, I'm going to find a way to love playing it.
I don't think it's his thing. Like I said, and you and I both know, having an opportunity at the league is a humbling experience. Because if you're on the top of the food chain, you can do whatever you want to do.
Facts.
You can run a 40 in flip-flops. But if you ain't at the top of the food chain, I don't care what you thought you was.
Right.
I don't know what you thought you was.
Facts.
Now we just spend a good percentage. We just spend a good percentage on this, on the negativity. It ain't really negative. We just breaking down stuff that people didn't tell you. And Van brought up some damn points I ain't even think a whole lot about. I still stay on my side a little bit, but I'm weighing a whole lot more on Van's side on that shit you brought up. So yeah.
It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard for me to really say, but when I'm gonna end it with this. When Liam passed up on me in the 3rd round, it opened my eyes. Because I just knew it, dude. When the round was going on, I looked at the pick order. I'm like, okay, it would be cool for Darian to fall and go to a scheme that he kind of got indoctrinated in already. I'm like, that's gonna be successful for him. And when he passed, I'm like, that's weird. That doesn't make sense. Isn't it that the coach's fault?
He want to know if the players fall for not playing the right position, you not giving them the right looks, you not putting them where. I mean, I already know you're gonna start a year. I mean, you got to win games at the end of the day. I can't just let you play a position. I'm not Coach Calipari where you can be. What's the dude's name who went to Texas? Devin Askew.
Devin
You
Askew.
can't just be Devin Askew. We just gonna let you play point guard, and you can't get the ball up the court. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you explain because they asked you.
This is the thing. Who asked that? Allen. Here's the thing. I said, let me play safety my senior year because we got injuries, right? And if I couldn't have played safety, Coach Smith wouldn't have let me play safety. You don't just play what you want. But since I was a safety once and I had prayed, okay, you still got it. We're gonna play you as safety in this game, then we'll move you back when Keo gets healthy. It's the same thing. You got playing around time. I'm a senior. I have afforded that opportunity. And coach is going to give me an opportunity. He ain't going to give you a lot of opportunity. He's going to put you, coach, let me play. Everybody says, coach, let me play this position one day. Let me just see. I want to just see what it feels like. If you play that one day and you perform as a coach, I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. I got an extra guy now. And if he's one of my best 5 linemen, maybe I got 6. Let me put Darren in at guard for this series and kick Flax out to the right tackle. Let's get Darren a good look. We got roll graders on the right side, and let's roll with that for 2 series a game. If you can play it, the coaches will let you play it. But if you can't, you won't. I think it's simple as that. People don't understand. He got a chance at left tackle. I guarantee, because he wouldn't have came back. It didn't look good. And then they went and got there.
No, I agree. I agree with you on that. I also think as a point of what you said, it also helps if you have that versatility. And like you said, that's what helped Luke. Luke's whole help was, like I done heard you saying, I mean, obviously, I know from the offensive side of the ball that you only traveling 7, 8 offensive linemen. So that means that's 5 of them going to play, and it's 3 extras. So you can either take 1 extra center, 1 extra guard, and 1 extra tackle. Or you can take 1 extra center guard guy, an extra 2 extra tackles, extra center guard guy, an extra guard. But the extra center guard guy covers 3 positions, and you got more flexibility. So that helped Luke out. And one thing you said, I'm listening to you talk about, they could have put him at this. Dude, if you're a defensive lineman, it's the same at corner and backer. When you get a key on your tackle, not so much a guard because they can help, they can do a lot of different things, but on the tackle, if you get a key on what move you can get them off and where they skittish, so it would have been cold to be able to move Kennard inside of it. So the dude get here, okay, he 10 off on so-and-so. All right, let's switch it. So now your defense, you can't call the same stunts because you got somebody who's stronger at this than that. So, I just don't know if it was more of a stubborn, which we played against. We played with an offensive coordinator who said, Tim Cobb, oh, you the number 1 quarterback in America? Let me see your option. And Van Ren option. Here, let me see your option. Let me see your Tony Rice, let me see your Frazier. Let me see your what's that? I'm thinking of doing West Virginia. Major Harris. Let me see. So but I do think there's a little. I mean, I don't think nobody helped each other, but the film don't lie. One thing about no matter where they put you at, the film don't lie, and I don't think
don't lie.
I don't think it helped them a whole lot.
This is now just thinking about this. Think about this as a lineup. If you had Fortner at center, Kennard at guard, and Flax at right tackle, I would run right all day, every day. Dude, that's 900 pounds almost of beef over there. Dude, you don't think when here's the one, man, my mind is just turning. When Eli Cox went down, right?
Right.
Wouldn't that have been a great opportunity for Kennard to move down and Flax to move to right tackle?
Yeah.
And you don't think the coaches didn't think about that?
Yeah. I wonder why they didn't tell him that though. I don't know. I would assume he would probably be better. Felt like he would probably would have been better at guard than tackle. Now that left tackle stuff is out the window. Like we ain't talking about that. Like from what so I just feel like he might have been better at guard. Moonshine, I would think it's simple math. The more spots I can play, the more chance you get to get on the field. Versatility trumps ability sometimes if talent is closer. True. So, but let's stop. Well, we got a short period of time left. We might give y'all some bonus minutes because we rolled in late. Because again, this new whatever kind of charger they got that it came out within the past 2 years is not charging my laptop. You surprised Wan'Dale getting drafted as early as he did?
That's what. If all those receivers wouldn't have gone in the first round, he wouldn't have went in the second. But here's the deal. This is what helped Wan'Dale. We all know that the eye in the sky don't lie, right?
Right.
But when you drafting players, you also got to fucking test well. Because the eye in the sky, it should be everything. But if the eye in the sky says you are a speed demon, but you go out there and run a 4.6, they're gonna start questioning what that film says. They're gonna be, is those slow players? Are they tired? Or what? When Wan'Dale hit those numbers, he bench pressed those numbers.
How many did he bench press?
Didn't he go 22, 21?
Oh, you said 20. I ain't even hear no that. I ain't know that.
That's what I'm saying. So when you look at the film, and then you look at the test, which to me, what scouts and GMs starting to attribute that to is, okay, you're dedicated to your craft because you know you got to bench press and do this and do that. Are you dedicated to become better at it? So that means there's a sense of, I want to do this to become great. So then they say, well, if we need you to study longer, you might study longer. So I think when Wan'Dale tested well, I think that shot him up. Now, I didn't think he would go that high in a second. I was like, he's a low second rounder, solid third. But when they, what was it? Let me check. When they went so many wide receivers in that first round, man, I'm like, that's his chance. Or it could hurt him. I didn't know which way it was going to go, but it helped him. Because now the teams who are looking for wide receivers for a really deep class, now they guys go, they rank their receivers.
Yeah. So
if your third best receiver is gone and you really need a receiver, you might go to your fourth best. And maybe Wan'Dale was their fourth best. So they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the first round. Man, they went 8, 10, 11, 12, 16, 18. That was a run.
Ooh-wee.
That was a run of receivers. So then it's like, who else is left? They need a receiver. And the Giants needed one.
Can you make a $2 steak any good?
A $2 steak? No, man. $2 steaks.
So the amount you pay for makes a difference?
Yeah, for sure.
I ain't like that.
Oh yeah, like when I go to Costco, you can get a USDA steak or a prime. It's a couple dollars. It's $1 something more per pound.
I have no idea. Really don't care. I don't care about anything you got to cook for several hours and consume it in 5 minutes.
No.
I'm not saying that, but you do fix shit that takes several hours.
Yes, that's for sure.
Prepare. I'm just saying that. Like, so I'm not really involved in that.
So he was
doing wide receiver like they did RBs back in the day. Signed the first contract. Let them go for a second.
Dude, he was
it's hard. Well, you know, with the league the way it is now, where you can't hit the quarterbacks, you can't bump at a certain area. If you really can't perform,
that ain't true. No, That ain't true. If you a dude, if you are a true dude, here's the thing: it's a salary cap deal, and that's the whole thing with the salary cap. Is if you want to be a top 5 receiver, and you have to be franchise tag, that's a lot of cash for a year. And if you're a player, know that somebody else is going to pay you kind of your max deal, you can go somewhere else. It's not that teams don't want to keep you. They can't afford you because the quarterbacks are making so much money and the defensive end and offensive tackle. So, I don't know.
Well, I did ask you from the beginning who was you most surprised about, but man, can you be more proud of and I'm not saying you gotta go with me. Are you more proud of anybody more than Josh Pascal getting drafted, where he got drafted after everything he's been through, the type of guy he is? I thought his size, him and Wan'Dale, I thought their size was gonna hurt him. But
man, I'm not shocked. I mean, I'm gonna say a name. I'm not comparing him to this guy. So please don't come at me when I say this name, because the guy I'm about to say is an absolute monster. A few years ago, I said Aaron Donald is the best defensive lineman in the draft. Oh, but he's too small. Oh, he's not. I'm like, he is a wrecker. Now, Pascal's not on that level. I mean, that guy is crazy. But what Pascal has, right, is he's going to come to work. He's going to give his best effort. And that's just as not even knowing, not seeing him play. You know those two things about him. He's always going to be available. He's always going to give his heart. He's got a motor. Then you add on his production. So you're like, okay. Then you add on the fact that the damn guy played linebacker in the 3-4. He went from being a linebacker to putting his hand in the ground. And now you got a 3-4. You either got a 3-tech or is what he's playing here. You cannot beat a guy who is a great locker room presence, a great player who's always available. The best ability is availability. Always, he's there. And he has the athletic ability, and he has production. So he's the best. You wrap all that up, he's almost a perfect draft pick.
Before we move on to the next subject, I'm going to say this, man. And it's kind of bullshit, and I don't really know, man. I mean, when you look back at the history, you look back at the sports, it is what it is. But do you realize in this draft process, it occurred exactly like Josh Pascal's season went. Wan'Dale went early. So, Wan'Dale went. Fortner went early than you thought. Kennard went a little bit later than you thought. Like the one person everybody ain't talking about is Josh Pascal. Like I'm elated for the dude. I'm happy for the dude, but it ain't getting no burn because Wan'Dale came, played 1 year, was undersized, this, that, and the other. Luke got drafted higher than they thought he was going to get drafted. Then Kennard got drafted later. Like, dude, all this dude does is come to work with his lunchbox, whoop ass, take names, clock out, put the names in his bucket, and come back tomorrow and do the same thing. Like that. I mean, me and you done both been through the process, so it's kind of like, well, when you look at it, but I don't know how much of that he can take just being the utility guy where we can rely on you, that's fine. No, sometimes I want to slap on my motherfucking back. Sometimes I want some fucking kudos, man. What the hell?
But Anthony, you know what them kudos are? Because he's going to get paid.
Money ain't everything, man. We know
no,
money ain't everything. Come on, man.
It ain't. Hey, look, money doesn't solve all problems, but it sure make them problems easier to solve. But I also think that's his personality too.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants that.
Yeah.
But man, that kid has a chance to be more than a solid pro.
Right.
He's gone to a situation where I don't particularly think Dan Campbell should be a head coach in the NFL, but that's the perfect coach for him. Because that guy is going to, he's an ex-player. He was a hard-nosed player. It matches Josh Paschal. And it's kind of like when I told you Denny Green got that receiver from damn Cincinnati and he loved them tape and he converted them to a damn DB. Yeah. How many times do you switch sides of the ball in the NFL? Like hardly ever.
Right.
So I think he's in a situation that he's perfect for the city. He's perfect for that coach. He's perfect for that culture. So even though I don't like Dan Campbell as a coach, Paschal went to the ideal situation.
Because he don't give a damn. He just wanted the grit and the grind. That's Dan Campbell's a fucking idiot. I don't know how the hell he became a coach out of people waiting to become a coach.
Right.
But you're right. His personality matches somebody like, get your ass in there. Just somebody who's gonna go in there and dog fight and scrap. And that's what he now that's probably why he took him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just had to point that out there, man. Josh Paschal always get the Mr. Consistency Award. Man, get him a little, give him some of them kudos. I understand what he ain't, when you talking about the money, even the money don't mean nothing to him because he probably gonna distribute it through charities and do, good things with it. And then at the end of the day, he want to go down as one of the greats. He want to be up there with Art Still and Oliver Barnett and, Josh Allen. I'm not saying that's what he wants, but he deserves to be. And I know as well as a lot of people, if he doesn't have the NFL career, which I'm not doubting he will, that his name will go away and you'll never hear from him again. Where this dude overcame a lot of obstacles. Yeah. I mean, how many 10-win seasons he had? Two. How many 10-win seasons have we had in the past 10 years? Two. I thought it was 3. I was arguing about it. I thought we had 3. Okay.
Dude, he is. I'm gonna put this out there, and you're right. You are totally right. Because when you start saying that, he's the Oscar Tshiebwe of the football team.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Ryan Howard.
Yes.
Maybe. Okay.
He should be getting a lot more of the You're right. But it's always going to go to Wandale. It's going to go to Will Levis. It's going to go to C-Rod. But the real Oscar Tshiebwe of the football team is damn Josh Paschal. You're right.
Yes, sir. So, throughout the draft, we talked about Kennard, a whole lot about Kennard. Talked about Josh. Talked about Fortner. Talked about
Wandale.
We just talked about Josh. Now I'm going to give you some names. You tell me what you think. Dare was on the list. We already talked about Dare in the Kennard situation. You can throw that back in there. Josh Ali. Bully McCall. I got a story about Bully McCall. Justin Riggs. I think that's really about it. That really, because Dare was my 4th, so that kind of explains. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yusef. Yeah, Yusef. Yeah.
And Quad Mosley got a invite too.
Tomato.
Yeah. So what you ask me my thoughts on?
Yeah, but let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
We had Big Dog on Sunday morning Sports Talk. Moonshine was asking. And I ask around. I know people. I ask around. Dude, Bully played before the season started. Bully got down to 340, 330-ish, upper 330-ish. Combine 340-ish. Pro day, upper 350s. Combine Who knows? Because they don't measure the combine. I mean, not combine, but draft day. Who knows? So there's a window, and I think there's something we're going to have a problem with. Unless they get somebody to monitor this. When we go from the end of the season to combine, to pro day, to draft day, them players who think, yeah, we made it, like we NFLU now, that they not putting in that work. Because this is one thing I was telling the people at work. I was telling Jack Pilgrim and them at work, well, so-and-so. I said, dude, do you not understand? From Monday to Sunday, a team is paying you millions of dollars. They expect you to be there because they want to take their paycheck home. Anything you do, whether it's eating, film study, playbook, extracurricular, if that affects your on-field performance, they're going to hold that against you. I said, I think I was with one team. Every pound you was over, I think it was $500.
Yes.
Under.
Yes.
$500. Because that really matters to them. That it's
Yes.
been calculated, it's been demonstrated. So my whole point is a bigger, the opposite is a macrocosm, opposite of a microcosm, that if we give you each week, you got a week to make good decisions to be prepared for Sunday. After your last game that I'm going to be tested at the combine. I'm going to be tested in my pro day. And we're going to see how both of those work, and we're going to see what you look like. If your ass decide to show up, how the hell do you show up at the end of the season and go to the combine heavier than you were at the end of the season? It can happen. It's one or two ways it can happen. But typically, once the season is over, you on your own. You ain't forced to do nothing. And if you just working your tail off, you're going to get into whatever shape you want to be. Now, me, I was trying to gain weight, and that's tough to do because I didn't drink beer back then. If I'd have knew all you had to do was drink beer to gain weight, it would have been a little easier. So that's where whoever asked about bully, when you go from the end of the season being in the 330s to pro day being 350s,
that's
you got some. Lewis said you got some explaining to do.
Dude, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Like I just said, when I was talking about Wandale, when he hit them 20s in the receiver and the bench press, that has nothing to do with a downright receiver. That's not a plus as far as skill set for a receiver. But what it proves is you're dedicated and you're working your ass off. So that's that. If you're a big defensive lineman who has had weight problems in the past, you got yourself in good situation when the season started. And it showed. He had good explosion off the ball. And your guys after the season put on weight when you should be taking off weight. Because the dedication, this is your livelihood now. This is not for your senior year of football where you can say, okay, coach, look, I'm just going to take some time. I'm going to get back in shape before fall camp. No, this is a job interview. And your ass going to gain 10 pounds? No. Here's the deal. It's like a job interview, right? HR gets 100 resumes and they got to skim through them. If you got plus 10 on the top of your sheet, you throwing that shit out.
Yeah.
When there's other applicants that are just as good as you with just as good production numbers, coaches talk favorably of you. And here's the other deal. You cannot, I guarantee you, when them GMs went to Coach Stu and they asked about bully, he can't lie. He can't lie. Hey, man, he can kind of gloss over it. Hey, man, he tries his best. He works hard. He has a little bit of a weight issue sometimes, but, man, he fights, though. And he fights himself to get down. Well, but, Coach, what you had him? Well, we want him at 320. He came in at 330. But, Coach, he came hard at 330. And we tried to get him. He just couldn't lose it, Coach. Come on. If you hire somebody and the guy can't get weight down, you ain't gonna. It's just those are the kind of things that people need to look at because they talk to all the coaches. They talk to the strength coach probably more than anybody. Just think about it.
Yeah, and like I said, that was when I was looking, because you got to think about the interviews. Like I thought I interviewed well, and I know Josh interviewed well.
Yes.
I was assuming Wandale probably in, like I said, Luke's a smart guy. I don't know. Kennard. That's one I would like to hear what Kennard's interviews were like. The one thing I'm gonna say, if you sit down with Bully, you remember that scene in Minister Society? He said, so Bully, last time we seen you against who we played, Iowa, I know you ain't play a lot, but you were 338. You came to your pro day, you were 556 or 356.
Damn.
How did that happen? See, I was, you fucked up, don't you? You fucked up. Like, what answer can you give? Like, what is a good answer? Give me a good answer.
There's nothing. Coach, there's nothing. The only one you can kind of get away and not get away with, the only one that someone might be like, yeah, but that still don't allow you to gain weight. Well, I was hurt and I was just at home and I was just eating.
Yeah.
But that would be a reason not to eat.
Yeah.
Go vegan for 2 months, something.
Right,
that's a level of dedication because he's had that history. That's the problem. It's not the first time.
And that's all they wanted to know was, you done had this issue. Are you going to be able to sustain this? Because so my concern, not really my concern. Josh Ali, it was a long shot, whatever. But I guess it was deep receiver draft. So, but Yusef, that was maybe somebody could take a risk on. Or you think he didn't show this year? And I wonder also going forward, is the expectation UK players ain't gonna be looking for diamonds in the roughs? Now, hey, we want y'all to show up and be, because like I said, for 2 years they asked Yusuf for a little more, and on this show we kept saying what was a little more they was looking for.
Look, I've said this on here. I've said it on my Twitter timeline. I've said it on YouTube. I said it so many times. Corker's issue is ability to make plays. Because here's the deal. If Corker played in the 80s or 90s, Corker would have probably been a second-round player. But there are no more Ronnie Lotts. There's no more Steve Atwaters. There's no more John Lynch's. There's no more Chuck Cecil's. All that style of play is gone. There's no more Melvin Johnsons. You got to be able to cover and cover ground as a safety now. There's no more Cam Chancellor. Cam Chancellor's probably the last guy. He's the most modern one, most recent. There's no more Cam Chancellors. With the way the offense attack people now, we don't need a guy in the box who's just going to be another glorified linebacker. And his inability to make plays hurt him. That's what I said it on here. After Mississippi State game, when he missed that damn interception, he had a one-on-one coverage, covered a guy across the field on a shallow cross, in perfect position, and he dropped it. He cost himself money. Simple as that. He tested well, and so now here's the other thing. So Corker was the opposite. You see the game film, when you put him on man, or you put him in space, not so good. You put him in an alley, he's awesome. Put him in space, not so much. But then his ass went out and runs with a 4.4 and bench press almost 30 times. So it's like, okay, the film doesn't match up with his athletic ability, which is even worse. Because I know you're an athlete. Why don't you show it on the film?
Right.
Which means the DB, that means you might have tight hips. And you can't play. Look at all the safeties that got drafted. They are all versatile guys with range that can cover. And none of them can hit like Corker. Not a one. But you don't need those guys anymore. You need guys who can cover tight ends, cover slots on first and second down, and be valuable to the defense as a guy who can eat up space. Corker did not show that on film, even though he can run fast.
And again, another position with a new coach. If Klink Scale is there, maybe Corker gets that development. Maybe he makes that. And I know we talked about it for 2 years. But maybe knowing it's your last year, you're going to go balls to the wall and get it accomplished. But that was another position with a new coach. I'm just saying. They keep on bringing up Kennard's bench numbers. Well, Kennard had my kind of bench numbers.
It was bad. It
wasn't single digits, wasn't it?
It was in the teens. For a lineman in the teens, that's bad.
I was barely a teen. But, that kind of hurt me, so.
Yeah, Corker is, and sometimes it's this too. It's hard to say it, but sometimes you are great in college, but not great in the NFL. There's some players who are unbelievable studs in college that doesn't translate to the NFL. There's some guys who were average in college, in a game in the NFL fits their skill set. I would say this: if Corker can put on 30 pounds and be like Thomas Davis, play for the Panthers. Thomas Davis was a safety for Georgia. He can put on 20 pounds. Thomas Davis was a all-pro, huh?
You're talking about getting in the box.
In this league now, he's kind of a tweener. I don't know how much run he's going to get at safety. Can he be on special teams? Sure. Can he play 8 years? Sure. But if he wants to get that bag, he might have to play linebacker.
I guess the only other name will really be discussed. Justin Riggs, does he stick? Do he have a lack of opportunities? And Vince seems to think that he landed in a great spot over there with your boy from the Bayou, Joey Bo. Joe Bo.
Didn't they lose a tight end? Didn't they lose in free agency? I think they lost a tight end. And I don't think they drafted a tight end. Look, when you got a guy who can block and is serviceable in the pass game, I was the first guy to jump on Corker's bandwagon in his first year starting. I'm president of the fan club, but I'm also realistic. I just don't see him playing safety in the NFL as a starter. But I can see him starting as a linebacker, though. He's kind of like Pascal. Pascal went from a linebacker, put his hand in the ground, and became a stud with his hand in the ground. He was serviceable as a linebacker. If Corker, I don't know how tall he is, if he's 6'1", put him in the box. Put 20 pounds on him. He likes to hit. He can be a wheel linebacker all day, every day in a 4-3.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, actually, it is what it is. I ain't big UK fans always. What our backup quarterback look like? When are we gonna throw the ball to the tight end? Nobody give a damn. If you ain't talking about Jacob Tammy or James Whalen, we ain't talking about nothing. Now let's just keep winning football games, man. Do what we do, man. We showed up late, man. We gave you all y'all money back. We gave you money back. Good show, man. Vannon gave me some go ahead and scratch my head and think of. And let me scroll back up here for a second because there was a comment made a minute ago. I was going to say something about Lacey Robinson asked, is Van going to be in Kentucky soon? Well, I'm going to reiterate this again next week. Van will be in Kentucky soon.
Who? When?
Van, you will be in Kentucky soon. Okay. He will be our fourth on the golf scramble with myself and War Stewart and Derek Johnson, little brother Dennis Johnson. And I guarantee Anwar Stewart will be the worst player on that team now that I see the lineup.
I don't know. I haven't played in a long time.
I ain't played in a year.
I haven't played in 2 years.
Okay, well, between you and between you and Anwar then.
It ain't gonna take long though. It ain't gonna take long. It's like riding a bike. All I gotta do is hit a few.
And that will be on May 14th. On May 15th, we will have Van live with on Sunday Morning Sports Talk.
What?
Van will be on Sunday Morning Sports Talk on May 15th after being in the Golf Scramble on May 14th. So the people who asking Lacey thought out that she trying to be a front runner, let everybody know. So May 14th and 15th, Van will be in Lexington. She did say she wants your autograph. If you want your autograph, it can be got at, I don't know where he's going to be staying. I don't know if he wants you coming to his hotel. I don't know where he's going to be staying. I don't know if he's going to have to stay at my house. Then that you definitely ain't coming where he's staying. But
are we not going to be on location?
It will be at Clark's Pumping Shop.
You can come there
Sunday. And we will be wherever Woodford County Golf Scramble is. We will be there on the 14th. Or you can hit them up on the inbox and have them meet you. Because Lacey likes to have people meet her at
Graveyard.
What's that real expense, huh? That real
I see Lacey at Graveyards. Great site.
Ruby, Jeff Ruby's.
Oh no.
Come to Jeff Ruby's.
Oh no, I don't have that kind of cash.
She said, I want your autograph. Come to Jeff Ruby's.
Oh no.
Now had she said, I got you 2 or 5 drinks. That's different. But I'm like, what am I supposed to do when I get there?
Right.
So anyway, so Van will be in town. We will reiterate that again next week. Better be scared. I just got that what he was saying. Hey man, again, as usual, Mary appreciate y'all for checking in, man. I don't feel like, we talked about a lot of things that people weren't talking about. We glad all these guys got drafted. A lot of people are wondering why this guy dropped. That's what we tried to bring out. It wasn't a knock on any of these guys.
No.
It wasn't that we don't think they deserve it. And like Van said, they can get with the team and show you something they didn't show you in Kroger Field and show you in Lexington, Kentucky. So it is what it is. But the things we saw, we just kind of want y'all to understand why we thought they happened the way they did. We could be right or wrong, but I hope you leave this show with a little more insight on possibly why it happened. Because all these dudes are making the same assumptions and calculating the data that we don't have. They just calculating all that stuff, throwing it in there. But a lot of stuff Van said made sense. Hopefully some stuff I said made sense as to why these guys landed where they did. And we can do this again next week. Hop over to YouTube. I don't know what's going on Facebook. We got to check them out. I'm sorry our Facebook people missed it. But they should have already been over to YouTube because StreamYard is on some other stuff. Like they are disbanding with people. Elon Musk, he on his own stuff. Ain't no telling where we gonna be at, man. We might have to start. Me and Van might start our own network. So
that's what I'm talking about.
We appreciate y'all for checking us out. We'll be back again next Wednesday before Van comes to town. The week after that, wait, that'll be next weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a whole week, man. Whole week full of Van and me.
That's true.
Check it out, man. Go like, subscribe, share. Tell people to check us out so you can get the inside scoop. For myself and Van, appreciate you. Peace.